Online content and expensive gear. Today we're covering important questions that people keep asking me about buying expensive gear. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos. Today we're talking about expensive gear and should you be buying it if you're launching your online content for your business. The questions are just like so many on expensive gear, and I never understand it. Like this lens is $3,000. This lens is the Canon RF 15 to 35. And people are like, should I buy this? Because that's what Peter McKinnon uses. That's what so and so uses. Yeah, of course they do. They're making money. Do you think they started with an expensive lens like this? No. Take a step back. What about this expensive R6 camera? Hey, people bought this. They love it. Now in Canada, this is like $3,000. Do you need it? Probably not. What about the R5? Or some of these content creators that are like, I need the R5C because the R5 isn't good enough for me because of the overheating. But do you need it? The idea here is investment. Is it an investment for you? Or are you spending money? That's the question you got to be asking yourself. Now, I have the R6, I have the R5, I have the R. I'm moving on from the R. I love the R. It's a great camera, but it's past its time for me for what I do. So the investment into more cameras is the next logical path. So when I'm looking at something like the R6, is this the one I'm going to be keeping? Well, the R5 suits my needs more. Now, I wish I did more research before I used the R6 and bought it. Simply put, the R5 suits my needs better. Now, how do we get to this point? This is the important question. And this video is really geared for people that are starting content creation. They don't know a lot about what they need and they're trying to figure it all out. And they're going online, they're looking at all these people talking about different things. They're listening to other friends, family members, whatever, and they're not going directly to the idea of how to do this properly. So instead of wasting money, spending it on stuff they don't need, instead, they can invest it the right way. Now, why is this video coming up? Well, the thought process is very simple. I get all these questions, they keep coming, and the aspect of how I'm going to be setting up the next set of videos and series wise with regards to equipment that I have and equipment reviews that I want to be doing so you have better understanding and better ideas as how it could relate back to you. The thought process is very simple. Where's the investment in it? And where can you get the best return on investment so you can get your content creation moving in the right direction if you are a business? I'll also be doing the conversations with the series in terms of creators that are creating in the field of wedding photography, when it comes to business photography, videography, etc. How should you be moving your business in what direction? How should you be investing in different aspects of your business? Now, do subscribe because these videos are going to be important. And if you have friends in the industries and you're watching this video and they need to hear some of this stuff, send it to them. It's a great idea. And also do subscribe because I'm going to be launching a series of courses that are going to help people with their businesses, taking an idea and moving that idea into a project and from a project into a scalable business where I will be talking about a lot of this content creation ideas and how you should be marketing and growing your business. So it is a walkthrough process. I'm going to be launching that. So do stay tuned, do subscribe, and stay tuned because I will be releasing different aspects of that process and building a whole community online with Mentors Approach there. So the video, the idea, very simple. What do you need? Now, everybody comes into the process of, I want to be like this person. And they will think about that creator and they'll say, this person is doing it very well. And my business is similar. And now I want to do videos in that similar manner. But to go from where you're starting to this area over here it's like a dream that isn't going to come true overnight unless you invest a lot of money into the process with people who already know how to do stuff like video, do lighting, do microphones, all that. You're most likely going to be starting with your cell phone, your smartphone, going, I got this. Let me shoot some videos so I can get comfortable, figure out how I'm going to be delivering the message I want to deliver. And then you're going to be researching how to do content creation. And from content creation, how to do ads and how to like repurpose all the different videos that I'm making so I can actually get this business moving and use my content effectively so I can sell my business. Now, the best idea of this would be coaching. This is something that I'm doing. So I'll speak in terms of something like that's counseling, coaching, any kind of marketing business, anything that you need to create content around your business where you might not have a lot of video experience and you're kind of like, I know the messaging, I know what to say, I just not there with all the equipment. So the first thing you want to do is look at the thought process of workflow and ask yourself, what is my workflow going to be? In most cases, if you don't have your content down of what content you're going to be creating, you won't know your workflow. That's one. So let's figure out what your message is going to be. What are you creating in terms of content and where are you going to be placing this? Is this YouTube? Is this Instagram? Is this Facebook? Are you going to be doing a little bit of everything? How does it fit the narrative? So we can figure out this workflow and figure out what do we actually need. The biggest mistake people do is they go out and they buy an expensive camera and then they don't know how to use it, for one. Two, they don't have the content creation there. So then when they start using the camera and they're learning the camera, they're creating videos and then the color's not right, the sound isn't right where you want it to be. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what am I doing? And I spent all this money because it's not an investment at that point. Let's take a step back again. Workflow, where are we at? Now, if you start with your mobile phone, whether it's an Apple, an Android, or whatever, the number one thing you got to put in perspective there is like you just hit the button, you're off to the races. So all you need to do is get a good stand and you're off to the races. Now you're going to say, hey, it's not the best quality. Well, guess what? It's 1080p, it's 4K, they can do 8K now. Come on, man. You're good to go. Stick with that and get going and with a certain amount of videos so you can figure out and get comfortable with who you are in front of that camera and what you actually need. So you can figure out, hey, what am I going to be sitting around? How does that look? And let's really jump to the first thing here, sound. Nothing else matters. Sound matters. When it comes to a lot of the content out there, what do you notice? It doesn't matter about the person or the individual and how they, look, where they're at. The popular videos are sharing a message. And if your message is strong enough and you have the personality there, it's just going to work. There are people out there like somebody popped up on my feed now. It's Alex Harmozy. And this guy's in a tank top and he's explaining business. He's got like 200 plus thousand subscribers. Like he does it right. He does it right. His message is great. It doesn't matter that he's wearing a tank top. It doesn't. And it doesn't matter where he's shooting the video. It doesn't. Okay? Put this into perspective. The sound, though, the sound sounds great. So I can sit there and listen to him. That's it. Now, what do I want to be looking at in terms of that sound? Well, microphones. What do I find? People are always emailing me about expensive cameras, but then it's like, what microphone are you using? And they're like, well, I got this $20 cheap microphone. Okay, how about we focus on the microphone first? Let's go buy some good quality microphones. Go do your research on microphones first. Have that to be your first big investment. Buy that microphone and be super happy that you got a great sounding device. Like I'm using this Rode right now. And this Rode it does magic. It does magic for so many people that I recommend it to. Okay. And the idea here is that I have over $3,000 in microphones. I use different microphones for different things, but a majority of that money, like at the beginning, was going to crappy microphones. And they weren't doing the job. And I was sitting there becoming a sound engineer, trying to figure out how to get the sound to sound like this and that. And then I picked up some good microphones. And it was like, oh, night and day. I only have to do this, this, and this, and we're done. What was I thinking? I listened to somebody on the microphone that wasn't a good microphone. And then I went and tried crappier microphones because I was like, I already spent a lot of money on this microphone that's not the best. And this is where we take a step back and we go, okay, well, let's research what's good for us with whatever we're using right now. And let's think about in the future what we're going to use. That's it. The new Rode Video Mic Video Mic 2. It's a great microphone. I have it. I bought it. And it's like compared to the NTG, which is a $300 mic, compared to the $100 one, it's like similar in sound. Great. There's a start. So let's research this. Secondly, it's lighting. We look at lighting and people are going and investing money into their cameras and trying to buy expensive gear like camera related, and the lighting isn't there. I don't want you to have any raccoon eyes. That's the goal. So if you buy a window, then the next logical step is to go buy a $50 light, something cheap that's going to be able to light you up and make you look pretty. You don't need a big dome like I have in here. You need a nice light to make you look pretty. That's it. Start focusing on how are you going to deliver the message, how are these videos going to shape up, and how can you get yourself looking better so you don't have to be by a window. That's it. So we start small. We focus on this, and your iPhone or whatever phone you're using is now doing a great job for you. And you're looking at it and going, hey, 1080p, 4K, what do I like best? What do I need specifically for what I'm doing? Now, along this line, as you are growing and learning the different aspects of your content creation, of what you need to do and how you're going to reposition everything, you're going to start looking at, hey, I got a new light. Now I'm going to test out the light, and I'm going to start seeing what is my background looking like? How can I change it? How can I make it look better? And you're going to be looking at your phone and going, okay, what do I actually need in a camera? And this is where we get into cameras. And this is where you look at it and go, do I really need a 4K? Do I need a 4K? Or can I just go for one of these T7Is? It shoots brilliantly in 1080p. Now, is it the best quality? No, it's not. Have I been able to use it on production actual shoots because we needed a camera because the other one, something happened to it? Yeah. Was I able to edit it to a level that nobody knew? Yeah. So, what's my point here? It's your editing. That will be part of your workflow. You will have to deal with that. And these cameras have different aspects of codecs, and your computer, you got to look at that. You got to look at your computer and say, can I actually use this camera with my computer to edit? See the dilemma that's coming here. Every time you look to upgrade something, you're going to have an issue. You're going to think about it and go, look, the Canon R5, I had to spend $2,000 on CF Express cards. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. And then I needed more space because if I do shoot the 4K slow-mo, well, guess what? I need way more space. So I needed an extra terabyte. I had to go buy a 2 terabyte SSD card, an NVMe drive. I wasn't expecting to buy another one, but I needed it. So the idea again becomes more expenses, where my 1080p T7i will get my YouTube videos done no problem. It's on a phone. 60% of the people that watch my videos are on the phone. Do I really need 4K? Right? But maybe you're investing the money and you're going, hey, I'm going to go buy an R6 instead of the R. I'm going to go buy an R6 or an R5 because I want to invest it for the future. Great. All right. Why? Is it an investment? Okay. That's all we're looking at. And this is where we look at this mindset and we say to ourselves, what do I actually need as I grow? It might be as you're growing, the best place to put your investment is in something like a T7i, an older camera for 500 bucks, and take the other $5,000 you were gonna use on a Canon R5 and be like, hey, how about I buy better lenses? How about I start improving my lenses? How about I get a nifty 50, okay? 100 bucks. How about I go get a 24 millimeter pancake, okay? 150 bucks. It's going to blur out the background. It's going to make things look nicer. How about I take that money and build a nice studio behind me, not a lot of money, and then take the rest and go hire somebody to do my editing. Go hire somebody to walk through my content and reposition my content so I don't have to do that and I can just focus on the content. Let's grow our social media. Let's grow this idea of social proof, so I can bring people back and get my business moving, get money coming in so I can go buy the R5 down the road, knowing money's coming in. Again, the thought process is this workflow. And if you can't do certain aspects, you either got to learn it or you got to hire for it. And my goal when I'm talking to everybody here is to look at it and say, okay, what is the best investment for you? I know all these big creators are talking about big cameras, big different tool sets and how to do XYZ. And I know some of you are starting businesses in video and you're going out there and saying, hey, I'm going to go shoot video for a wedding. And then you go, well, I need something better because this camera overheats or this camera doesn't do 4K or whatever. Well, yes. So look at your investment wise of how that's going to return on investment. That's what you got to look at. And if not, go rent the stupid thing for said wedding, for said project. I do that. If we need something, I go rent it. If we need a certain light, we go rent it. We need certain microphones, we go rent them. We need certain cameras, lenses, we go rent them. I've bought these expensive lenses and I use this. It's like, it's part of my workflow. It's part of the YouTube stuff. It's part of the actual shoots we do. It's a whole bunch of different aspects of different parts of the business that we use it for. I know that I have this RF 24 to 70 that I'm shooting on right now. I have the RF 15 to 35. I'm shooting on this right now because this 15 or 35 was being used by somebody. They just dropped it off as I was recording this. And it's like, it's fine. Somebody needed it. They borrowed it. Or I can rent it out if I have to. No problem. People have called me. They're like, hey, do you have this lens? No problem. And they're like, I'll rent it. Done. Cool. Okay. So the process is very simple. If you need something, you go rent it if you're in that situation. But in most cases, you're not going to be in that situation because you're going to be working towards the clientele that's going to get you to the next level so you can get those projects, so you can feel comfortable with those bigger cameras. Like if you go get a cinema line, it's going to be incredibly challenging. And the idea of learning is where it is the process that you have to take when you pick up something like people have been asking me, should I get the R5C? And they have the R5 and they're like, do I get the R5C? And it's like, well, are your projects needing that R5C? And they try to justify stuff that doesn't make sense. And I go, it doesn't sound like you need it. Okay. Now, why don't you go like look at it from a perspective of how many projects you're going to be getting that you're going to be able to use it, where you're going to be profitable in, to justify it that you paid it off within 6 months, say, or a year or 5 years. I don't know. Put it on a number that works for you. Right? But that is a cinema line camera. So you're going to have to learn the cinema line aspects of the camera. It's going to be a learning curve. And if you're telling me that you're going to go on a shoot with a cinema line and you've never done it and you haven't practiced enough, you're pretty much shooting yourself in the foot because you're going to screw it up. There will be a screw up. And that's where we go, okay, how do we gradually get there? Take a step back, look at everything that you need, everything that you want, and ask yourself, where's the investment? Where's the spending? But if you're starting out now in your business and you're saying, I just want content, these are the steps I would take. Look at your content, look at what you need to create, look at your workflow that you're going to need, do some trial runs with your phone, then look at what is the best microphone, look at what is the best lighting for you based on a budget, and then look at it in terms of the idea of then upgrading cameras and looking at lenses and seeing what's best for you. Focus on the background, focus on making things look more sharper with what you have, and things will start to fall in line where you're eventually going to get to where you want to be. My name is Nikos. The idea here is very simple. It's being careful about what you're purchasing so that it's an investment. I will be making more videos on these topics. This is why I'm introducing this video. I'm going to walk through more about the cameras, the lenses, the mics, the lights that I use. I'm going to walk you through the idea of what you should be thinking about so you don't waste the same amount of money I've wasted on certain things. So it makes more sense and easier for you to get through it. And I honestly, I'm going to be looking at it in terms of how you guys can a better move with your investments instead of looking at it and saying, do I need to buy it or not? You'll be able to make a better informative decision if you watch these series of videos that I will be coming out with in the next couple months. Now, on top of that, what I do want to just remind everybody of, I do subscribe. I will be making announcements as we move along about the new courses I'm making. It's all about business. It's all about that idea and then moving it into a project and then taking it to a scalable business. It's a walkthrough of marketing and other aspects that you will need in order to scale that business. And the thought process is to build a community. So I'll be announcing this as we move along. So again, subscribe, like this video, and share it with somebody who needs to hear this message. Of course, leave a comment below. Be nice. Be nice. I've seen some people be very rude to people for no apparent reason, but people are asking questions. Be nice and respond so you can help them out. Of course, check out these two videos.